Hey, my wonderful, lovely people, a pleasant afternoon to you. Beautiful people, I saw a very disturbing video because I don't know. I know vloggers like myself, we do this because we want to see a better Jamaica and we want to prevent, we want to mitigate the consequences that the country and its people will face if we do not address issues like these, if we don't hold people responsible, if we don't make them answerable, if we don't discipline our children, show them the right way, teach them the right way, the precepts, the principles, let them have standards. Sorry, our country will be in deep waters. So I'm seeing a few girls in a classroom and a young fellow. You know, they seem to be between 14, 15, perhaps maybe 16. Yeah, I don't think they were 16, but let us say up to that. But more between 14, 15. And I don't know what was happening. And the guy is, I don't know, he's taking on a sort of a background master role. And I don't know if the girl kind of made a move at him, like to hit at him. And he had a leather belt in his hand, or a belt, a regular belt. Started to slap her with it a few times. And none of her friends could defend her because they're females and he's a male. And we know that men are made physically stronger than women. That's part and parcel why I encourage women, do not fight a man. Even if you get the opportunity to listen to me, ladies. And I'm going to interject here a little bit and digress. I'm not really digressing. I'm still on the topic. The topic is really about the male abuse to women. Is even if the man is small in stature, even if the man is the beta man, the quiet one, the reserved one, and is taking your hits, more often than not, he knows if he were to get very angry and get into that male testosterone, the Y chromosome, the man in a them, you probably would not be here or you would not live to tell the tale. No matter how big you may be and how small he may be, they are made physically stronger, and one day that man can snap. Because naturally men do not like to be controlled, especially by women. They may not want to say the words. Some will. Some are not afraid to. They don't want it. They're grown up that way. They don't take talk from women, you know. So even the ones who are so-called, when they hear that woman beating up on a man and people laughing, I laugh to myself because I said, because that man has not really decided to retaliate. He knows that she may not live to tell the tale. And even if a man meager, skinny, for those who may not know, slim-bodied, I don't know, an enormous strength tend to overtake those men. And them tend to be strong. They tend to be very strong. You have to be careful, ladies. So I did that too for you to understand. Don't fight a man physically. Don't. If he threatens you, you just stop. Find a way of escape. Do not. If you have to save your life, try to save your life. I'm not talking that. So I don't want people to be ridiculous and say, what if it's a life or death situation? Come on. It doesn't take for me to tell you that you must know that you have to do whatever it is to protect your right to life. So you protect your property. You protect your space. Now, this boy was videotaped slapping the girls, and they're afraid of him because he's there, taking charge of the class. Now, if behaviors like that are not addressed comprehensively and in depth and consistently and aggressively, that is what he's going to do to his women or the woman that he decides to settle down with when he's older. How dare he come to the class or come to the school and taking a leather belt, slapping up the child. And she had to move off. She can't. Can't you manhandle him? She can't. And neither can her friends. And whoever, it could have been a female that was videoing it, because I don't understand what's going on in these schools. Everything that is happening, people video it and send it out. We're glad, because if that didn't happen, we would not know what to speak and on how to address our issues. But nothing is being done. Nothing seems to be, had or is being done to mitigate these problems, these issues. having these men, they are small bullies, and then they come and they turn abusers to women. We're living in a misogynistic world now, because sometimes when I go on TikTok and hear how men talking to women and talking about women, I can hardly believe this is Jamaica I'm living in. I'm not saying that we don't have some cruel women. We do. You forget Jezebel? Come on. Not even Delilah was as horrible as she was. Not even Delilah. She didn't make Ursula look sweet. Or Cruella. I'm not saying, but men, you have to be very careful of how you speak about women, how you speak to women, and the things that you're doing and saying. You're going to be held liable. It's like the child who dishonors his or her parent. You have to be very careful. How I hear some men, I don't even like it when they're bashing on the women like that and tearing them down. God will hold you accountable for your words. He will hold you responsible for your words and what it is that you're doing. We are the weaker of the two vessels physically, even, and not, when I say emotionally, meaning we're not built to take harsh words. I think it affects the women in a deeper way than it does the men. There is something about, and that is why in 1 Peter 7, Peter says, husbands, be careful that you do not embitter your wives. Be careful that you're not harsh with her. You don't abuse her, because your prayers, if you do it, your prayers are going to be hindered. Meaning, God, it's almost like it better you don't pray. Can you imagine you need God to help you and your prayers get hindered because of what you're doing to your wife or what you're doing to a woman? Do you men want your prayers to be hindered? And God has to do that because he has to put something in protection of us. We're the weaker. You know that we cannot fight you, especially physically. I know that our mouth, ladies, we have to work on that as well. We have to work on it. It's not easy. I saw a video of a man. I don't know what he did. Apparently, the lady she cursed him out. But I don't know if he took his gun. I don't know what he did. If he gun butt her, if he beat her, what. And the other lady had to be holding her away because, come on, she knows what would happen to the woman. And another man there has, and they just tell the man to just go on outside. She's going to call the police. Right here in Jamaica, big people, big. We're not talking even young. When you look at those big all steering men and women. Big, tough turbot like him. He said, all right. I deliberately said that because I know that somebody would say, I thought you said don't. No, and I deliberately said that for you to understand. We have to be careful with our words. Ladies, we have to be as well. We cannot, provoke the man to wrath, so to speak. Because, that's where we're strong. We can fight them with our words for the most part. We can fight them with our words. When we go to tell a man some things and he has to sit there and take it. Now, he may not retaliate in the way that we think, but because men don't have that kind of them few shot, them going just think for either beat up on you or annihilate you. And you don't want that physical assault or to be annihilated. You don't want that. You don't want that. But we need some serious, definitely divine intervention, but we need some serious intervention in these schools. Now, one of the intervention is discipline. You bring back prayer in schools that don't have it, and you discipline kids. Discipline, it works. We're not talking abuse. Discipline them. Let them know they can't joke with you, and no parent drive any fear in you. You're telling me, put them to God. If they even try to threaten you, you'll put them before Almighty God, and they would not want to face him. It is a dreadful and a fearful thing to fall into the hands of God. You discipline them. You discipline them. The administrators, you discipline them. You discipline them. And that is what is a big ingredient that is missing from the pie, that is missing from the cake. The children are not being held accountable. They're not being disciplined. For him to have this big leather belt, I don't know. And how those schools run like that? How you're just in the class and you always don't see any teachers. You're not always. That's a wrong word. Seldom do you see teachers. You keep on seeing just students. The other one, the boy slapping up one, the girl slapping up in class. What's going on with these schools? Where are the teachers? Or the administrators? Anyway, you better make your calling and election sure. Guys, you know what to do with TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe. Give me one of them the land, please. Thank you.